motivational tools. Life is a dynamic blend of many different and often simultaneous cycles. Here you will assess the tools and information that you need in order to understand and master your own personal cycles. You will remember what you intuitively know and ultimately express your infinite potential. Access your karmic tools today. And she has a really fantastic website, but not just that. She has free call-ins. And that is once a month. She will have a free call-in, whether it's the new moon, whether it's the full moon, or next month that she's having it is or this month is the harmonic convergence. And that will be on the 6th. I think that's what it is. So go to KARMICTOOLS, karmictools.com. And something else. Of course, you always hear me talking about the earth changes. And one of the things that, hey, today is August 1st, 2008. And today we are having a new moon, and it's also a solar eclipse. And with the earth changes, they talk about dramatic earth changes happening within 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after. So we have a full solar eclipse going on today, and then tomorrow later on in the month on the 16th, then we also, hey, wow, you know what? I forgot to turn the studio lights on. Imagine that. Anyhow, the 16th, they're also having a partial lunar eclipse. How much of a difference does that make? Ooh, cool. You don't have to turn them all on. If you turn them all on, then I'll get hot. And we don't want me to get too hot. You know how those power surges are. Oh, you want me to get hot? Woo! How can I get any hotter than I am now? Don't ask. Right. Okay, let's see. Anyhow, they're working in the control room to see if we can get the call-ins working. And hopefully it will get working. Yeah, we have the lunar eclipse on the full moon in August.
Like to make a call,
so Kelly
hang up
should be
and try
calling
again.
today, and then
If
she
you
will
need
probably
help,
call on the 15th. If we can get it all working, but you know how it goes. And that's one of the reasons that we're always asking for sponsorship, because if we don't have sponsorship, it's kind of like, what was it? Was that Henny Penny, or the Little Red Hen, or the Little Engine That Could? You know, it's funny how things seem to, you know, if you really want to, if you really want to, if you really want to. And there again, it's like, you know, even, you know, Jesus, Mother Teresa had their doubts. You know, we wonder about traveling on this divine path that we're on, and it's, So anyhow, this is something, you know, going back to the earth changes and the solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, okay? You know, 2001 in India, magnitude 7.6 earthquake. Okay, 2003. Wow, May. There was a good couple of them, 3 of them in May 2003, November 2004. But the important thing is, you know, okay, the past is the past, but look at what's going on in today's. And I know that there have been a great amount of disasters that have been happening lately. How many volcanoes have erupted? What was it, 2 in Alaska, you know, Mexico. Anyhow, Google it. You might find it in the newspaper. You know, that's might find it in the newspaper. I try to be nice about the global, you know, what's going on in the world today, and you know, trying not to be down on corporate, but being that I was in corporate and I saw what was going on, and it's like, man, you know, it's all about the money, and it's really not about the money. And what we don't understand is things are going to be changing, and going to be changing quickly. And just because we live in an area that's pretty cool doesn't mean that we won't be unaffected by it. I really wasn't prepared for this because I was going to do call-ins. And there goes my phone, so, you know, I guess I can't call in on that one. but we'll put it there. Okay. Yeah, I didn't bring my papers. I have some notes. Will that do? Let's see. What can I talk about for a whole hour? You know, because see, if I was in the control room, I had some tapes to push in so that I could run from. Is that a Freudian? No, not really. It's not running from, but it's just that it would give you something else to look at instead of me, because I was out during bell share. And when I was out during bell share, I was out taking tapes. But because I'm in here, I can't do it because it's in there. And I don't know where my help went. They disappeared. What else is new? Anyhow, since I don't know what's happening with karmic tools and my background, wow, you know, I even forgot the, the magic cloth that you can use to disappear, you know, this one. But the only thing is, it's like I can't do it because then my candle will fall off. I can become a talking head. I can even disappear. Crazy stuff that we do around here. Aren't you glad that we do it live? Ah, yeah. Yeah, I wish I could get a call in because then I could talk to you. Did you ever feel alone? Did you ever feel lonely? One of the things that I had filmed was a suicide, or rather not a suicide, but a location that was questionable as to was it a suicide. And in speaking with some people, some official people from Asheville, what I was told was there are a lot of suicides in Asheville. And it's like, wow, that's really interesting. A lot of suicides in a city that's called the town of Bliss. And it's like, you know. And in my experience, there's people who never even think of suicide. And then there's some people who are plagued by thoughts of suicide. And I know that a lot of times when people are plagued with thoughts of suicide, it's because we are trying to be like other people. We are trying to be like other people want us to be. And that's not always who we are. And when that genius hinges on insanity, you know, yeah, the genius hinges on insanity only when we're not true to ourselves. So when we're listening to people fill our head with their thoughts and their belief, and it goes against our gut because our gut's telling us, our heart's the mediator. And when the heart's the mediator and they're going in two different directions, that's where we're getting the heartbreak. And that's when we can't handle it. And when we're looking at the different energies and ooh, wow, now I'm really by myself because they just shut the door. Now I get to talk to myself. All right. Did you ever feel like that when you're just talking to yourself? Did you ever, when you're in four walls, did you ever get that closed-in feeling that, you know, ooh, I want to get out of here? It's hard to be alone with yourself sometimes. And that's when we have that dis-ease within us. And, you know, not wanting to live in the human world. And there's a lot of people who don't want to live in the human world because it is painful. You know, it's painful when we play God of our own existence. You know, it's like, I am God, I want it to go this way, why isn't it going this way? Well, I'm going to try to make it go my way. Wow, that's really hard sometimes. Living as a spiritual being is one of those where, okay, I don't know who or what, but I know it's not me. And that's when we let go and we let that God, you know, that good, orderly direction play out in our life. You know, the God, the dog, the slang for good, orderly direction. You know, our God, you know, the gut, the God unto thee. You know, when will we learn? You know, well, do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? I mean, that's pretty much the bottom line. You know, if you want to be happy, the easiest way for being happy that I have found is to, you know, let go. Okay, I don't have to ask how why, except it's your will and it will be good. You know, that's really the bottom line. Do you want to be happy? You know, if you listen to what other people think and say that you should believe, and it's not you, then you're not going to be happy. You know, you're not going to be happy. Do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? Go ahead. You're right. Just tell them they're right if that's what they want to hear. A lot of people just want to hear that they're right. Okay, you're right. I want to be happy. It's up to you, you know. You have a choice. You have a choice whether you want to be happy. And there again, when we go into that dis-ease, you know, that dis-ease within, well, what master do you serve? What spirit do you put in you? We look at that disease and, you know, what do we put in us so that we do not feel? So that we do not feel that pain and sorrow that a lot of us have been carrying with us for a long, long time. You know, that's something that if you really, truly want to be happy, go back to your childhood and look at what happened in your childhood. You know, if you keep carrying that baggage with you, you're not going to be happy. You got to let it go. You can't drive forward looking into the rearview mirror. You look in the rearview mirror to see if that past is catching up on you, but not to keep an eye on it, because if you keep an eye on it, you're going to crash. If you want to go forward, keep your eyes forward. Check those rear view mirrors just to, hey man, we're checking what we passed. We're checking what we left behind. You know, do you want to be happy? Do you want to be right? What spirit do you put in you? When we put in a substance that alters our personality, we're not being us either. You know, do you want to be happy? Do you want to be right? We want to put something in us so that we don't feel the pain, the sorrow, the misery, and then we become that miserable, irritable, discontent person. The cycle never ends. If nothing changes, nothing changes. Do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? The choice is yours. And just remember, the choice is yours. Do you want to be happy? Do you want to be right? There's been a lot of things that have been going on lately, and it's like, you know, things that I cannot control. People, places, and things. People are gonna do and be as they are, unless they want to change to be something different than. So if you are in a relationship, or a friendship, or a servitude, or whatever, if nothing changes, nothing changes, okay? So if you want it to change, the only person that you can change is you. And a lot of times it starts with our attitudes. You know, do you really want to change? Right now, today, the new moon, the solar eclipse, bam! Let's pack it to change. I have not had a cigarette today yet. I'm so excited. You know, and it's one of those, I'm not obsessing. It's I'm asking my God, my good orderly direction, to please take away the obsession, compulsion, and desire to smoke. Wow. Take away the obsession, compulsion, and desire to smoke. You know, that's really interesting. Just by saying those, take away the obsession, the compulsion, and desire to smoke. Now, take away the obsession, compulsion, and desire to drink. Take away the obsession, compulsion, and desire to drug. Okay, so I'm still working on that Mountain Dew, that sweet stuff, one thing at a time, you know. But you got to be ready, and I guess I was just ready. And take away that obsession, compulsion, and desire. But I'll tell you what, it makes it much easier when you say, please take away that obsession, compulsion, and desire, because you're not obsessing, you're not thinking about it. It's like, okay, I guess I'm going to be one of those non-smokers. That's going to be really cool. Kelly's supposed to call at 9:45 at 6:45. So I had said that if she couldn't get through on the other one, to give me a call on my cell phone. And you know, I charged it, and you know, I have one battery and I don't have the charger, and it's 6:46. So, that means that she might not call. That means that you got me for another 45 minutes. Wow. I guess we're just going to keep on going on and talking about that disease within, you know, how some people escape themselves, and whether she committed suicide or whether she was murdered. I'm sure that there was some type of an alcohol or drug involved. You know, we tend to boo-hoo, boo-hoo, boo-hoo about the things that are going wrong. And when we focus on the things that are going wrong, it just continues, because that's all we see. When we focus on the problem, that's what we see. When we focus on the solution, then that's what it'll be. But we have to change our thoughts, our thought patterns. And like I said, this is a really good time in which to do it. You know, decide that you want to change. It's not really that bad. It's not really as bad as we think it is. But remember, when we play God in our lives, yeah, then sometimes life really sucks, you know. Because, you know, the only time that I have a bad day is when things don't go my way. And that's when I have to remind myself who's in charge. What I'm doing is talking about a bunch of my mottos, my sayings as I say it. And expectations are premeditated resentments. When you come out and you expect things to be a certain way and they aren't, well, a lot of times we get to resent those people, places, and things because, wait a minute, you told me you're going to be there and you're not. You told me that it was going to be this way and it's not. So what are you going to do? Get a resentment? Resentments are like swallowing poison and waiting for someone else to die. Let me think about that one. That's interesting too, huh? Do I want to die today? And how do I want to die? Do I want to die spiritually, physically, mentally? Nah, I think I'm going to keep going for a while. Yeah, I'm going to keep going for a while. I don't know how long. Yeah, I don't know how long, I'll admit it, but life is good because that's the way I choose to see it. And you too can choose to see it that way. Okay, new moon, solar eclipse, the first house and the seventh house. Kelly, like I said, does these call-ins. And some of them are free, some of them you have to pay for, karmictools.com. But anyhow, this is from what she was going to talk about today, and I took notes. And she is going to get a hold of us one of these days. But the first house, the seventh house, okay, new moon. The first house is about ourselves. The seventh house is about our relationships, okay? That's where this solar eclipse is hitting, okay? How do you feel about your relationship with yourself? If you don't love you, how do you expect other people to love you? You know, that's a bottom line. Others can love you as much as you love yourself. You know, a lot of times we put ourselves in these relationships with people who hurt us. And why do we feel like we are not worthy of a better relationship? We wouldn't hurt ourselves like we allow some other people to hurt us. It's like, what's the big deal? You know, I don't quite understand that. because I've been there and I'm still trying to figure that one out. Okay. All right. Remember when we go to the beach, when we get up from the dirt and we brush ourselves off, the dirt scatters in the wind, the sand scatters in the wind. That is similar to what we are going through right now, okay? All of that past behind us, when we brush it, when we get rid of it, it doesn't fall neatly in a pile. It scatters all over the place. And that's something that we have to clean up. Do you want to go forward? The February eclipse split the Virgo. You know, that's something. I haven't written it in a really good, in really good handwriting because I was writing really, really quickly. And if I would have thought of it, I would have downloaded the CD, I would have downloaded the call-in into a CD so you could at least hear it that way. But anyhow, 18-year Leo Aquarius cycle. You know, we just came out of, what was it? The Virgo, Pisces, 18 years. Anyhow, we are coming into our own, and that's a huge global community, radical shifts. Things are going to be different. And we really need to learn to release the past. That's what this is. You know, things are changing. It's not going good the way that it used to go. And if it's not going good that way, then you better let it go because it's going to continue to get hard. You know how sometimes it's like we hold on by our fingertips, by our fingernails. We can't do that anymore. You know, let go, let God, let that good orderly direction. The gut, the God unto thee. Listen to your gut. When have you ever listened to your gut and you were wrong? I can't think of a time. Can you? I didn't think so. Okay, eclipses, change. The lighting, release the past, stay centered in the heart, clear what is important. Relationships, primarily. Let's see, the lunar eclipse is going to hit on the 2nd and the 8th house. Yeah, I wish I would have written it better, but you'll have this. Finish up and tie up the old. All right, the glitz and glam is over. We're looking for the substance within. Be very aware of what you are magnetizing. What are you magnetizing? What are you attracting? You know, what do they say? You are what you eat. Well, what are you putting in you? I don't know. Okay, let's see. Acknowledge your blessings. That's a biggie. You know, it's a biggie to feel gratitude when you feel like crap. And one of the reasons that you feel like crap is you're looking at what you don't have instead of what you do have. So, you know, that's a biggie. You know, be happy with what you do have, even though you might not have much. You know, go out and look at the world around you. What is the world around you? Something else that somebody had said, and that was the holding of your mouth. Oh, it was Madam. The holding of your mouth and the holding of your nose and try to live without breathing. Well, if you're the God of your life, then you should be able to do it. Okay, the pillars and strength. Gather others. Our impression. With light comes shadow. Wow, did you know that? With a light comes a shadow. Yeah. Can you guys see the shadow? Well, maybe you can't, but I can. With a light comes a shadow. There's always a good, there's always a bad, the yin, the yang. How do you choose to see it? When there's a natural disaster that happens, how do you choose to see it? Do we choose to say, oh, that God of ours is bad and we are going to damn you, damn you, damn you because, no. Our Father in heaven, our Mother on earth. The earth has changed many times, many forms, many ways. Interesting. You know, there was another book that I had that I left out in the car. You know, it was kind of like one of those last minute. You know, like I said, I was going to do the show inside the studio or inside the control room, because then I could have played around a little bit more than just sit here for an hour and talk to you. But I guess that's what I'm supposed to do. You know, when you live divine, you don't question. It's like, okay, I'm listening. What do you tell me? What am I supposed to talk about? What am I going to do? This is the way it was supposed to be. But it didn't go my way. What did I say? The only time that I have a bad day is when things don't go my way. You guys ought to know it by now. Around here, we wing it, you know, because the way I plan it isn't the way that it is. And if I'm going to get upset because it's not the way that it is, it's not the way that I want it, then I'm never going to be happy doing this show, and I might as well just give it up. You know, that's part of it. How it's going to progress? Of course it's going to progress. I know it is. Okay, acknowledge blessings, acknowledge blessings. Okay, what else do we have? Make practical use of downtime. Interesting. Downtime? Do you have downtime? Do you know what downtime is? Hey man, kick back, take it easy. What? You don't like to be alone? That disease? Yeah, I know. We heal ourselves and then we heal our relationships. Face it, own it, and clear it. Wow, that's interesting. Face it, own it, and clear it. Let me see. Face it. All right, I'm looking at that fear because most of the times it's fear. You know, those false expectations appearing real. Face it. It is what it is. You know, don't try to magnetize it into something great big. Remember what we talked about? You know, when we focus on the problem, that's what it's going to be. When we look for the solution, then that's what we'll see. How do you choose to see it? Do you choose to see it as black or white, as good or bad? Out of tragedy, people come together in love. So why are we looking at tragedy as such a bad thing? You know, most of the time people aren't nice to each other. You know, people suck, especially mean people. You know, and I just found out who poisoned Lola. And not just Lola, but the other neighbor dogs, the ones that were blamed for poisoning Lola. And that means I'm moving quickly, and then I'll file a report. And after I file a report, then we'll fill you in. But there's been a whole lot of chaos, a whole lot of mass chaos. And do I choose to stay or do I choose to go? And by looking at an experience that wasn't nice, it was really tragic. It was horrible watching her die. If you've ever seen a dog poisoned, it was horrible. And there again, there were like 12 dogs that were poisoned out in Brevard, well, Rosman, out in Transylvania County. Transylvania County wants your blood. Ooh, not really, but anyhow. There's some sick people out there and why they do it. And you know, choosing to look at it in a positive note, and that's like, okay, life is changing for me. That means I'm going to be moving on. I have a new adventure. I don't always know what that new adventure is, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to have my seatbelt buckled because life is changing and life changes fast. I hope that you guys can hear me out there. Yeah, it says that it's on, and I guess nobody's come in and told me that you couldn't hear it, but ego. Keep your ego in check. Ego? What is your ego? Ego is easing God out. You know, we talk about that, you know, God of our own existence, the ego, the great I am. Yeah, the great I am that causes the global warming. Yeah, right. the global change that is occurring, that has occurred before. When are we going to get serious and start to pay attention? What? Did you say that we had a flood in the Midwest? What? Did you say that we had fires in California? Was that the same area where they had the earthquake? Oh, wait a minute. North, south. Wait a minute. Earthquake, volcano, fires, floods. Ooh, what comes next? Are we having famines? Oh, wait a minute. The flood was in the bread basket. So I guess that's next season. Yeah, that's probably next year. We aren't freaking over it now because we can still go to the store and buy our bread and milk. Do you hear anything about the floods in the Midwest? I'll tell you what, I'm going to be bringing you some information because out in Brevard at the corn maze, they're going to be having a benefit to help those who have been flooded. It's the Salvation Army that is going to be organizing it. I don't know a whole lot about it, but there's a corn maze that's out in Brevard, and they have a maze every year. But this one day they're going to do it to raise money for. When Katrina, and I say Katrina is a preview of things to come because that is what was in the media front and center. And there was enough of money that was donated to build a whole new New Orleans. But there were some people who, that greed, there's a lot of people who greed, the pride that comes before the fall. Does that mean New Orleans is going down? Well, wait a minute, it's already down below sea level. Oh, imagine that. Wow. Interesting. You mean those earthquakes that they're having and the volcanoes, and what? You mean that there has been a tsunami that has crossed the Pacific and hit Japan once before? Where do you find this information? Library. While they're still free. Oh, wait a minute, that's right. If you don't live in Buncombe County, it costs you $1 to go on the internet. Interesting how the free libraries aren't really free anymore. Well, you better keep going. It's the same thing with public TV, with public access TV. How long do you have information? How long do you have access to information? Makes you wonder, huh? Interesting. Our reality is changing. We now have an opportunity to co-create. Thought creates form. What do you think? Let's see. The square test, release, integrate. Square test, release, integrate. No more quick fixes. No more quick fixes? What? You mean no more Band-Aids? Does that mean like the finger in the dam, or the Band-Aid, or the plug in the levee, or the sandbag in the levee? Things are changing, people, whether you like it or not. And whether you like it or not, it's going to happen because it is what it is. The solar, the earth, the planetary, Interesting. Interesting how you can tell a lot about the different things in the sky. Different things in the sky? Is that like aliens? Is that like UFOs? Interesting. Do you think that we can go back in time? Wow, wouldn't that be interesting? Can we go back in time? Can we go forward in time? If you think it, so shall it be. Isn't that what was said in one of those Bibles? As a man thinketh, so shall he be. Well, if I think that we can go to the future or we can go to the past, does that mean that those aliens, those UFOs, whoa, what do you think? They came back to try to save us? because it was written in this big book that this is what's going to happen. Revelation, remember? Revealing the truth of the matter last season. Yep. Things are going to change, whether you like it or not. Acceptance is the answer to all of my problems. Acceptance. Acceptance. It is what it is. Let me see. Personal. I told you I didn't write the notes in very good. Vision is version. You know, I was telling somebody the vision. I got the vision. You know, our vision, our vision, our vision, our vision, our vision. We see it this way. Remember that ego, you know? I want it this way. This is the way I want to do it. That's just a version of, but it's not the real thing. Okay? So be prepared for that. Cleanup is major. Do you want to be happy? Do you want to be right? Get rid of the junk in the trunk. You can't drive forward, okay? Looking in that rear view mirror. Get rid of the junk in the trunk. You have too much junk in the trunk, and pretty soon you're going to break down your car, okay? There's only so much that your vehicle can handle before it breaks down. If you're having a hard time, get rid of the junk in your trunk. Wow. Interesting. Focus on self between the new and the full moon. Well, today's the new moon. 2 weeks is the full moon. Focus on yourself. Do you want to be happy? Do you want to be right? How many times during the day are you happy? And how many times of the day are you sad? It's your choice. Okay? Do you want to be happy? Do you want to be right? Victim, volunteer. If you're not a victim held by force, quit your bitching. You can change it. But only you can change it. And only you can change you. I mean, yes, we can lead by example and show other people the way that, hey, this is the easy way to live. But we can't make anybody do anything that they don't want to do. You know, that's the bottom line. Independence in relationships. Whoa. Are you independent in your relationship? Or do you bow down to another as God in your life? Do you allow someone to tell you what to do, what to think, how to act? Ooh, you're probably not happy. Do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? You have the choice. It's your decision, okay? Alrighty. Let's see. Well-rounded, balanced human who will attract the same. Ooh, interesting. You mean you do not have to be with the so-called losers, but not saying that they're losers. It's just that they have a disease within also. They're not happy. You know, so if they're not happy, why should you be happy? Because they're not happy. Do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? Okay? When we get well-balanced, we attract well-balanced people. That's interesting. Learning how to relocate again, micro to macro. Release and go forward in divine order. Vista, 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 bees, used to bees don't make honey. It used to be, but it don't make honey. Used to bees don't make honey. What happened in February in your life? Look back to February. Medicine, integrate and complete. Oh, that was the new. Yeah, the dolphin, the breathe, the breathe, the breathe. Breathe in, breathe out. Wow. You know, that's going to be my new addiction. Breathe in, breathe out. Wow, that really feels good. It feels good not to breathe in and breathe out, and you got that tight feeling in your chest because of cigarettes. Interesting, interesting. New opportunities aligned in the new year. Yeah, that's for sure. There's new opportunities that are coming. And I'm going to keep doing this until I get tired of it. And, that's the cool thing about public access TV, because I can keep doing it and I can keep doing it. And even though I only have had one sponsor. Hey man, I had a sponsor. That's cool. I'd really like some more so I can do a professional show. And what I mean by a professional show, hey, how are you? Nice to see you out there in the control room. We have somebody hanging out in the control room saying hi. I guess they're learning how this is done. And this is how you do it if there's only one person. You sit in front of the camera and you just talk. You just, so to speak, conceive it, believe it, take aim to achieve it. Let go to the goddess, prepare to receive it. Oh, that sounds interesting enough, doesn't it? Sounds easy. What do you want out of life? If you don't know, then how do you know when you're going to get there? And that's one of the shows that I'm going to do. And I, like I said, I was planning it this way, but it's this way. Acceptance is the answer to all of my problems. I could be like, ah! Is that why my hair's standing on end? Is it even standing on end? No? Well, you know what happened? I had on those headphones that said, breathe in, breathe out. No, not really. When I was in the control room, I put the headphones on. So, and I didn't even look and check my makeup. Oh, see, I guess that's what those professional shows do. Professional shows make sure that you look right. Your makeup is right, your hair is right. I don't even have the monitor on, so I can't even see, how bad I really look, how bad. Forget it. It ain't bad. It just is what it is. And that's just how life goes, So sorry about your luck. But you got to learn to let go. You got to learn to let go. Do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? That's interesting because I don't even have my other notes in here. I could have brought a whole lot more stuff if I was prepared. But see, I was prepared for life to go one way. And that's what happens. Life comes along and say, bam! How do you handle challenges in your life? How do you handle life when it goes bam and cuts you off at the knees? Do you grin and bear it? Do you boo-hoo-hoo because it's not going your way? Or do you say, okay, show me, tell me, what am I supposed to do? And then your gut will say, this way, or that way. Or maybe I was just supposed to speak to somebody special today. What can you say? You're special. And don't ever forget it. And when we think of thoughts of suicide, if you're having a hard time now, what's going to happen if you come back and have to do it again and it's twice as hard? What? You'll do it again? Life is a challenge. Life is a game. If you learn how to play it, it'll keep you sane. Yeah. What can you say? It rhymes. But seriously, life is a game. How do you play the game of life? Do you find it happy? Do you find it painful? Do you find it joyous? This past weekend when Belshare was here, and it rained on Saturday morning, and it was like, oh man, because I really wanted to go and do this and do that and do this, and it just didn't go the way that I planned. The only time that I have a bad day is when things don't go my way. And sometimes when things don't go our way and things don't go our way and things don't go our way, it becomes a really heavy burden. because it's not going the way that we want it. Because we want to control our own destiny. We want to control those people, places, and things around us. And we get irritable, restless, and discontent, that disease within. But there is a solution, because you're not alone. Even though you might feel alone, you're not alone. Get rid of that dis-ease within. What master do you serve? When you sit on both sides of the fence for too long, you're gonna get hurt. When we rock it, ow! Just ask a boy who falls off the bicycle and hits the bar. Yeah, that's like riding on two sides of the fence. One of these days, you're gonna get hurt. What master do you serve? What spirit do you put in you? Because that's a big part of your happiness. We suffer from a spiritual malady, most of us who have that depression, because it's not going our way, it's not going our way. Yeah, irritable, restless, and discontent. How do you choose to see the world around you? I'll tell you what, I'm going to take a drink. This was given to me by Ann Fisher. And it was a march for women's lives in Washington, D.C. Abortion, global family planning, South Mountain Women's Health Alliance, emergency contraception. Ooh, Morganton. Hey, that's cool. Emergency contraception. You know, I had looked at it, but I never had read that line, the bottom line. Emergency contraception, 1-800-NOT-TOO-LATE. Wow, that's cool. Do you know that they're trying to get a bill passed to make birth control illegal? Good water. Do you know that they were arrested back in the 60s for giving out information of birth control? Wow. Why would they want to stop giving out birth control? I don't know. Do you? Are you involved in the politics of your life, or do you just sit back and complain about how things are? You want to be happy, you want to be right. If you don't like how it's going, then you got to get up and you got to do something about it. Victim, volunteer. If you're not a victim, quit your bitching. Bottom line. Do I want to be happy? Do I want to be right? Let go, let God. One day at a time. In this moment, there is only love. That is a really good mantra. When you're feeling one of those, in this moment, there is only love. In this moment, there is only love. That's one of those mantras, the same as, please take away this obsession, compulsion, and desire to smoke, drink, or whatever. Take away, please, that power that's greater than you. Can you take away? No, because it plays in our head. And we can't fight the enemy when they have an outpost in our head. Interesting. Those little voices, those little voices, those little voices, those little voices of other people that come in and fill our head. Those little voices that come in and fill our head, and it goes against our gut. Yeah, when it goes against our gut, we're going to have a heartbreak. Wow, no wonder you're miserable. You're listening to everybody fill your head with their thoughts and their beliefs, and it's going against your gut. And you wonder why you're not happy. When are you going to listen to your gut? Your God unto thee. Imagine that. Gut. God unto thee. This is being filmed on August 1st, 2008 at URTV, channel 20 in Asheville on Charter Cable. You too can film your own TV show, and you see how simple it is. If I can do it, you can do it too. What do you want to do with your life? Do you have a message that you want to get out there and talk to other people? Or do you feel that your life isn't valuable? Because it is. You are not alone. Whenever you get to the point where you can see nothing but black around you, just remember, there has to be light for the shadow. There has to be light for the shadow. After the darkness comes the dawn. It's always darkest before dawn. Things will get better because this too shall pass, and you're not alone. We talked before about different support groups, and just remember you're not alone. I'm sorry that we don't have a call-in, or I'd say call me, and we'd talk about it. But just remember you're not alone, and you are worthy, because you never know to whom you're speaking to. When you're out there, you smile and you say hi to people, because that person that might seem down and out might be an angel in disguise, and they're just waiting to see. That's one of those tests. You know, when we talk about the life, playing the game of life. How do you play the game of life? Well, if you play it as if you don't know what person is the angel, wow, does that mean that you might be nice to everybody? Yeah, sometimes some of us only want to impress the pretty people. Status quo. Remember, glitz and glam is past. Things are changing. The more you talk to people, the more enlightened ones, the more we look at our earth, the solar system. Let's find. Spirituality will be explained scientifically. Buckle your seatbelts, because things are going to change, and things are going to change rapidly, quickly. Are you prepared? Do you know how to survive? Who's going to get you that glass of water? Do you have lots of bottled water? How are you going to cook? Oh my God, you mean nobody will come and clean your home? How are they going to get there? Wow. Exxon, how many billion in profit? I know it was up 14%. Imagine that. The greed, the corruption, the decay of the morals in society. Excuse me. Oh, that must be that cigarettes, you know, when you quit smoking cigarettes and your lungs are filled up with all that goop. And when you're not putting all that goop back in, they start to let go. Yeah, so I'll probably be coughing this week. Oh, I feel so good. I'm going to be a non-smoker. Wow, it really feels good to kick a habit. It really feels good to kick a bad habit. It really feels good to kick a bad habit that's bad for you, but you do it anyhow. Well, wait a minute, my nerves are so bad. Let me smoke another cigarette. Please take away that obsession, compulsion, and desire to smoke. Please take away the obsession, compulsion, and desire to play the God of my own existence. I want to be happy. And sometimes I'm not right. But I'd rather be happy knowing that I was right than arguing. Yeah, I'd rather be happy knowing. I like keeping a smile on my face. And if you'd like to keep a smile on your face, then, hey, try it. Give it up. Easier, softer way. Okay, I'm not in charge. My seatbelt's buckled. I don't have to ask why I'm losing my house. I don't have to ask why I'm losing my job. Go with the flow. Material possessions are going to hold you down, because that's what a material possession does. It has weight. It holds you down. Do you want to be happy? Do you want to be right? The choice is yours. It's as simple as that. You know, time flies when we're having fun. I was like, oh my God, what? 2 minutes? I'm on? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You know how we freak out over things When it's not going our way, we want it this way and we freak. Oh my God, no, I want it this way. And then time flies when we're having fun. Imagine that. Community potluck dinner this Sunday. Yes, it is the first Sunday of every month. Excuse me again, out at Sycamore Flats in Brevard. Take the Blue Ridge. Take the Blue Ridge south to Brevard. South, Brevard, long drive, 20 miles, I think, until you get to Highway 276. Make a left to Brevard. Okay, you're in the Pisgah National Forest and you go down the hill and you wind down the hill and it's like really scenic, and you come to Slide and Rock on the right hand side, and then there's Looking Glass Falls on the left, and you keep going down and there's a fish hatchery on the right hand side where they raise fish, you know, and you can go there and you can check it out, and then you go all the way down, and right before you get out on the right hand side it's Sycamore Flats. And that's where the potluck dinner is. Come early, come late. 2 o'clock's when we eat. You'll have fun if you want. Choice is yours. Anyhow, bring a covered dish. What do you want to eat? Bring your utensils. We still don't have a sponsor for the plates and the knives and the forks and drinks and stuff. But bring your utensils, or bring your instrument to play. If you like to play music, or a chair to sit and listen. Bring a trinket to trade. Kids, bring your old toys. Bring a can of food. Bring a non-perishable food or whatever for the bread of life. They have lots of stuff. But it's all about community. Those are the times that we're coming in. And this is what's going to be important in our survival. We know what happened in Katrina, when who was leading, mass confusion. Do you want to be happy, or do you want to be right? Choice is yours. I hope to see you on Sunday at Sycamore Flats in Brevard. And it's 276, 280, and 64 intersection if you are coming from 280 or wherever you're coming from. Come on and have a good time. We don't know who's going to be there. I can't plan on things because every time I plan on things, my plans change. So that's what I plan. I plan to change. Evolution is change. Do you want to be happy? Do you want to be right? Choice is yours. This is being filmed live at URTV. URTV. In Asheville, North Carolina. I've had an interesting, good time. I think that you guys see my logo behind me. It was supposed to scroll and all that kind of good stuff, and you were supposed to see the waterfall and all that good stuff. And when life throws you a curveball, what do? Catch it behind your head. Choice is up to you. Remember, you're not alone. Life sucks sometimes, you know? And if life sucks sometimes and it's sour, well, make some lemonade. You know, you can attract more bees to honey than vinegar. There's a lot of little sayings that are out there. You should plan to listen. You should plan to listen to your gut because somebody's trying to tell you something bigger than you. Do you want to be happy? Do you want to be right? I know we're getting down to the last few seconds, and just remember, you're loved. That's that. I love you. Oh, wait a minute. I have another good one. Okay, you ready for this one? You know what this means? Peace. And a little more. Yeah, what can I say? Life is an adventure. It's what you make it. Okay? Acceptance is the answer to all of my problems. Okay, now I can quick go in and turn off the record button because I am off.